What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Apartment 113 podcast. We've got a special episode here today, recorded live at Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference. We're on day 2 here, and I'm sitting with Luke Scarmazzo. Luke, what's up, man?
What's going on, Rob? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing well. Enjoying the beach.
That's right. The hurricane weather that we came to.
Yep, travel to Florida and bring an umbrella.
Yeah. I packed a bunch of beach clothes that I'm probably just going to leave here now.
I'm pretty sure there's a surfboard on my shirt. Wasn't quite prepared, man, but dude, it's great to connect with you and to see your session yesterday and really start to understand your story. I think for our listeners here, Luke was in prison for 15 years of a 22-year sentence.
Yep.
After starting a legal dispensary in Modesto, the first one.
Yeah,
and it was a full vertical shop you were running, everything above the board.
Absolutely.
It was still in those days of kind of federal uncertainty.
Yeah. Every day we went to work back then. All the dispensary operators at that point, which there wasn't a whole bunch of them, but you had that fear of like the feds prosecuting.
Right. And I remember cultivating in Denver. My master grower came from California, and he said basically, if you're coming to work and you see the black vans anywhere near the facility, dude, just drive forward. No one needs you here.
Yeah.
And it's so scary, dude, because, I mean, it was partially a joke for me at that point. That was 2009, 2010, and understanding the impact it had, just years before is mind-blowing, man. Just reeling from it. I got to say that I think I echo the sentiment of everybody here that we're just happy to have you, man, like among us and out and fighting for a cause, getting back on your feet.
Super happy to be here, and everybody's been very welcoming, and the vibe here has been super positive. So yeah, and it's exciting, man. Exciting to see this conference and the just scale of it. I mean, that's something that I would never even have imagined, really.
Right, that the industry could evolve so much.
Yes.
Were you able to keep tabs on the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I still had a lot of friends that were in the industry, that some of the legacy OGs that back when I was involved in growing and dispensing. And then, I had access to, some social media and stuff like that through different outlets to where I can kind of just watch it kind of from afar, watch it grow.
Right. Did you always plan then to come back into it, or did that sort of evolve as well over the years?
I don't think I ever decided not to. I mean,
that was just the mission from day one.
From day one. I mean, I grew up in California, just immersed in the culture. My dad grew and smoked weed. My aunts and uncles grew and smoked weed. So it's always been a part of me, right? So even when I was incarcerated, I smoked weed. I probably get in trouble for saying this, but I smoked weed every day I was in prison. You know what I'm saying? That was just
right. It's a lifestyle. It's an identity decision.
And it's mental health, right? It's for to be able to be handle some of these different difficult situations of life, right? So I mean, just to be 100, I'll smoke weed until the day I die. You know what I'm saying? Till the wheels fall off. Right.
Yeah, dude, there's so much it can help with there on the relaxation, on just level setting, getting your mind straight, or thinking through things, man. On another level, it can be used socially. You're trying to relax or hang out with folks, get to know people.
Yeah.
I think that the many different types of consumption can overwhelm newer consumers.
Yeah.
Kind of where to start or how to start.
Yeah.
But I think once you get to that point that if it's part of your lifestyle and kind of using it in your wellness routine, man, to keep your mind straight, it's can be a powerful plant for sure.
Absolutely. And just the advancement in the industry of seeing where we can go therapeutically and medicinally is so encouraging, because now you're seeing people who usually wouldn't even have, for lack of better words, took the risk of trying cannabis, now are seeing the benefits of it. So that's I love that.
So they're actually able to kind of approach the plant now.
Exactly.
For legacy folks and for guys that were from before the industry, it's maybe not something you'd think about. How would you approach it? It feels obvious. Well, you'd get an eighth or get a bag from someone and roll up, man.
Roll
That's
up
how you
and
approach
light it up.
Get a bong.
But yeah, no,
now
it's
with
definitely
the modern
different.
CPGs, it's a full-on, pharmacy experience.
Yeah.
You could have it on topicals, tinctures, anything under the sun.
And now it's like we're really seeing like a lot of the science behind it, right? We're seeing like them isolate the molecules, and I'm seeing packages like with like CBN on it and these different things. And like, listen, when we opened our dispensary in 04, like if I would have told somebody about CBN, they would have been like, what? Like, what is that? Like a rap group
Completely
or something?
over their head. Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome though. It's very encouraging.
Right, and there's so much more I think that can be done on the science front. I'm starting to see more about terpenes and different elements of the entourage effect that really make up the high and differentiate one cultivar from another.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, the testing results or the testing restrictions are very high. So top 3 terpenes have to be displayed on the label.
Okay.
So that's making it like very interesting, because now you can go in and say, well, show me what cultivars are high in humulene.
Yeah.
Show me myrcene. Like, you can actually pick a terpene and find something for it, which is, I think, where I would hope to see the industry go long term. I know that California's putting percent terpene.
Yeah.
And I think Missouri's doing that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of science going on there. And recently there was a paper about a cultivar that was planted indoor and outdoor. And they did a cannabinoid study to find out really what the differences were.
Yeah.
The take-home points were that there was more THC indoor, but much more terpenes outdoor. And the THC that they had found indoor was actually this type of THCA that causes more anxiety than what was grown outdoors.
Wow.
So there's some more science kind of going on to shake out like the true value of outdoor versus indoor.
Sure.
But after reading that study, man, I'm leaning towards the outdoor camp.
Yeah.
Where do you sit on your preferences right now? I know that you have some serious background indoor.
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to say, like, if you would have talked to me 15 years ago, I would have said indoor all day, right? But now that I'm seeing, especially like with the mixed light glass house, greenhouse type of growing, because then you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, right? You're kind of being able to control the environment, which is, really important, especially when growing high-grade cannabis.
Right. You can shut the lights out when you need to.
You can do that. You can control temperature. You can put CO2. You can do all the things like that you can kind of do indoor, but you also basically are using the power of the sun.
Yeah, you get
and
that
you can't replace
spectrum.
that. You can't. I mean, no matter how good the lights are, and I hate to put the lighting companies out there, but like no matter how good you make these LED and full spectrum lights, like you can't mimic the sun.
Right. Yeah. Even with that effort there, I know there's some patterns on the LEDs that will like replicate weather almost with like a cloudy days and try to impact that. But yeah, having that sun and some natural elements really helps with the terpene production, which is just going to make a more aromatic cultivar. It's going to smell and taste better, which is I really think important, man. And
oh yeah, I mean that's what everybody aims for, right? Like back in the day, before you could even test, a lot of the OGs will attest to this. Is like we didn't have, our test was smell and taste and like feel of like
very
how
tactile.
it makes feel.
Like,
yeah,
is
exactly.
it sticky?
Is it sticky?
Dry,
Can we put it against the window and will it stay there? Like that's how we knew it was gas, right?
Yeah, or if you open it, someone else in the next room can smell it.
Yeah, they're like, yo, who got that?
Yeah, this one's got a funk to it.
Yeah.
Are there any cultivars that you were growing before that you're going to try to track down again, or that you'd like to add to the wheelhouse?
For sure. I mean, like, I was always a huge fan of like the true purples, like the Granddaddy Perp, the Purple Urkel, the God's Gift. Some of those original like true purple strands. Big I'm big on like some like the Sour D. The train wreck back in the day, like those were like the difference today, like I feel like, is you see a lot of like the same strands getting crossed now, right? You got a lot of the gelatos, a lot of like the cookie strands and stuff like that. So you can get like 5 different brands, and a lot of them are really similar. I mean, they're gas, they're candy, they're all those great things, right?
Just very slight variations. Almost like one parent in the lineage is different instead of like a completely different background, like some of these land races or more original indoor cultivars had. Yeah,
you would be able to like open a bag and like, let's say I got a bag of Sour D and this one's a bag of train wreck and this one was Granddaddy. Like the difference in the smell, the terps, the taste was so dynamic that like
It was, like, you couldn't argue it.
you couldn't argue it.
Yeah.
Like you really had like such a deep variety. And I think like, I think a lot of people are kind of circling back to that now. I think like people are starting to reach back and say like, listen, man, we want those like old strands, those old legacy strands because of just the individual like uniqueness of them.
Yeah, and some of them got bumped out as the market expanded because of the focus on high THC.
Yeah.
So it's like if that one's not going to hit above 17,
Yeah.
get it out of here.
Yeah.
But I think that was maybe a wrong decision.
Absolutely.
Because as we're seeing now is that with these like similar menu items that have like that one difference, if we had the diverse selection from before, man, there's really like something to explore on the palate. And I think that like from a connoisseur perspective, the aroma, the taste, the flavor, that's going to come back around and hopefully help with some of these price compression issues.
Yeah.
Because with a more educated consumer, like, someone that's ready to smell it or put it against the window, I think that you can expect them to return and to explore the menu, perhaps make bigger purchases than someone who's just coming to get their low value or just their value purchase.
Yeah,
right?
and you see a lot of that now. You see a lot of people coming in because everything is so similar. They're like they just want to go in and get like the $20 eighth. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one that's selling the most.
Or the highest THC.
Or the high, give me
one of these labs showing 32% or something
exactly.
crazy.
And like what you alluded to too is like we're starting to see now like that. The THC is just one part of the gambit, right?
Yeah.
Like everything else,
of the pie, but not the whole pie.
Not the whole pie.
Yeah.
There's other ingredients, and that whole entourage effect is what like people are looking for.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about Mission Green and your experience with them, and then now your efforts going forward?
Mission Green, which is an initiative of the Weldon Project by my good dude, Weldon Angelos. Shout out to Weldon.
Hey, he's walking around somewhere here.
Yeah, well, he couldn't make it to Miami. He had like some prior engagements that he had to get to, but he's here vicariously.
Yeah,
he's here in spirit.
He's living through you.
Yeah. But yeah, that organization does tremendously good work. If it wasn't for the advocacy of Mission Green and Weldon, I wouldn't be on this podcast today. I'd still be in Mississippi in a prison cell. So, I want to kind of just let that sit in for a second with the audience.
Yeah, man, the value there, the difference without that project, that initiative.
Yeah, so with Mission Green, my kind of purpose here at the Benzinga Conference is to promote a program that Mission Green's doing right now called the Mission Green Alliance. And what that is it's a roundup program that allows customers in the legal market to be able to round their purchase up or otherwise donate at the point of sale. So, what I'm doing here is I'm encouraging all these companies to come involved. There's already been a few that have done it. Glass House, TerraSend, Verano, Matteo Communications has been huge with helping me out with this message. And just to be able to see those big companies come in is encouraging, and I love the fact that they're doing that, but we need everybody, to move the needle at the federal level and to really bring people home and to get this changed.
It can't only be the
CEO
only be or the marketing team for
it has to be everybody. It has to be everybody. And, I hope that all of the major MSOs will become involved, but not just them, some of just the single store operators. That's where the real impact is made is on that level locally, where you can contribute, you can come in and be a part of this fight, because that money is going to be used directly to make a change. I'm not taking a salary for it. There's no salaries that come off of that. This is done because it's the right thing to do.
Right. And it's done to help folks that are still stuck, man, for the industry that we're all working in and making our living on.
Yeah. And, if it wasn't for those people who came before us, and paved this road that everyone here at this conference is driving on, we wouldn't be able to have these conferences. Right. So, I think it's important that we circle back.
Yeah, totally. And the Roundup program sounds like a great way to make sure, or make it accessible, because I think that a lot of folks would share that opinion, but then not know how to, how to act on it in a way, so that Mission Green coming in and allowing that roundup, just making it simple, and also getting into the daily lives of consumers, like kind of the regular conversation vernacular. It's kind of essential to start building that story around it too.
Yeah, and it's a way for, like, people ask me all the time after they hear my story of like, hey, what can I do to help? You know what I mean? And people want to help, but a lot of people don't know how. So, what anyone can do is they can go to projectmissiongreen.org, and you can see the companies that are already members of the program. And then you can also find ways that you can get involved too. And, like I said, this is something that, like, we've been talking about federal legalization and freeing everyone incarcerated for cannabis for, 10 years now. We can't keep talking about it for 10 more years.
It's kind of wheeled out for the party to make a big deal about it and get some accolades, and then wheeled back. It seems.
It's hard to. It's hard. It's hard at the federal level to get them to do things, but we can do it if we all come together and synergize on this. It'll happen, and it happens by, having the resources to be able to go make it happen.
Yeah, and I think that just getting the community more aware and involved in the process is a surefire way to add to those resources and make sure that other folks that are in a similar position to you are, helped, man. They need a way out of that and hopefully a way back into the cannabis industry if they want to enter it. As it feels crazy that this has evolved, this like massive multi-million-dollar industry off of things that sentences are still being served for.
Yeah.
There's probably literally nothing else that could even relate to that right now.
No. And that was like one of the frustrating things for me while I was incarcerated. Like during the 15 years that I was serving, watching the legal industry just grow and corporations and governments bank millions of dollars while I'm literally sitting in a prison cell for the exact same conduct, right? That was super frustrating. But I'm free now, but that doesn't stop. Like there's still thousands of people that were like me that are sitting in prison saying the same thing I was.
Right. So you're out here at Benzinga, but your other friends in there are not. Even folks that don't know you or that are in other parts of the country, they're not being helped. I think that's it's definitely something we can do to assist, man. I think Apartment 113 is going to be looking into how we can help. If there's anyone else we can bring on to keep the love going, and hopefully we can start seeing some of that roundup in Las Vegas where we're based, and see as other industries expand.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate that, Rob. Appreciate 113 for having me on too, and just being able to spread the message, man, because this is how we do it. Reach one, teach one. 1 + 1 does not make 2; it makes a million on this. So
yeah, slowly but surely, dude. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to talk with you about was the book that you had written over your time. I understand it's called High Price or The High Price?
High Price.
High Price. Okay, and it's a perfect 420 pages for the cannabis industry.
On the dot.
How was your experience writing, man? It can be a monumental task to write or plan a book, or to even to finish it. That's a wonderful thing to have accomplished, dude.
Yeah, it was daunting at first, just to kind of think about like, I want to write this whole story and talk about it. And it was really important for me to share that. But at the same time, like to sit down and write, a memoir was like kind of daunting. So, what I had to do was just kind of incrementally tackle the task. And I made a commitment to myself to write like 4 pages a day. And then I just stayed consistent with that, man. And then before I knew it, I was like, coming up onto the end, and I looked back on it and I was like, really inspired by just, what it meant to me, being able to communicate that story. Like, this may sound ingenuine to some people, but I don't care if I make $1 off of that book if millions of people read it, because I think it's that important of a story that we share it and be able to say, hey, these things happen in our country. They continue to happen today. And we need to make sure that there's no more high-priced memoirs getting written.
Yeah, man, totally. I think that that needs to be the last one, and that could be a good footnote for that book too.
For sure.
Are there plans to get that published, or have you talked with any nonfiction publishers?
Yeah. Well, it's being developed into a mini series right now with Richie Hill and a film company called Filmopoly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
dude, that's awesome.
yeah, it's super exciting, man. We've signed on with them. They have the option now. They're in development stages, so they're kind of. I wanted to actually have it published already, but they kind of want to coincide the release of the book with the release of the series
at the same time. Yeah, nice,
so
dude.
they're making me wait a little while, but
Hey,
I won't wait too much
ready.
longer.
It's like preparing this perfect message and running to the messenger,
and then somebody saying, "Hold up."
Yeah. Why don't you sit down for a minute?
Yeah, take a breather.
No, well, it sounds like the patience will be rewarded, though. That's an awesome feat as well to have the mini series there, and that's shorter reach audiences that may not visit the bookstore or may buy high price and not fully read it or get the message. So that's just another way to keep spreading the story and helping people be aware of what's going on.
Yes.
Are there any other folks that you'd like to give a shout out to that we can start, praying and working for their release?
Oh yeah. I mean, how long is your podcast? No, but yeah, for sure. Free Parker Coleman, free Jose Valero, free Bubba Johnson, free Lance Glore, free Frank Rogers. I mean, I could go on probably all day here, man, but like the point is that there are thousands of people that are still sitting in prison for a nonviolent cannabis offense, and we need to say their names. We need to make sure that they're advocated for. There's, Mandy Lee is in there. There's hundreds of women that are involved.
Untold amounts, huh?
Yeah.
We just can't quite fathom it.
Yeah, you can't even wrap your mind around it when you think about it. Like, we're sitting at this conference here. There's all these, venture capitalists and insurance companies and everybody in the industry, and everybody's eating, and everybody's having a good time, which is great, and these things are awesome. But, there's people sitting in a prison cell right now for the exact same conduct.
The reality of it.
And that's the reality of it, man. And it's crazy that it keeps happening. It's crazy that these injustices continue today. But if we keep telling these stories, we keep doing, vibing and doing these awesome podcasts like this with 113, we're going to affect change. And that's the important part.
Right. Yeah, one episode at a time and kind of one roundup at a time, man, and fighting for these folks. I think that we're hopefully going to see a more of a mass-scale resolution to this federal incarceration in our lifetime, you'd think, because of the pace the cannabis industry runs at is just, it's blinding. It's pretty fast, even though it's slow still for us compared to other industries or regulation kind of things. It often moves quick.
Yes.
I know the feds have their hands tied with descheduling and with a few other things, as well as, the whole prison system, making money there, and just a little bit of a few like spaghetti knots to untie along the way. But I think being able to help people out and, facilitate their release and their freedom, let them come home is a very noble aspect for the cannabis industry, something I'd like to see everyone else get behind.
Yes, and it's the right thing to do, and usually the right thing to do will make your company more profitable, because people want to get behind a company or a product that has a cause, right? Like, I want to spend my money with a cause that I believe in. So, it makes sense for these companies to get behind this, because not only is it the right thing to do, but it'll be more profitable for your company.
Right, it's legitimate brand altruism.
Yes.
There can be this level of kind of faux altruism where a brand is like, okay, we'll celebrate this cause and that cause, and sometimes it's only for the influence or only for the perceived notions. But a brand that's really doing something, is I think where the differentiator's at, where we need to start drawing the line. Yeah,
and that's what we hope to do with this program and with the brand that we're dropping. We're gonna, when we drop our brand will, proceeds will go directly to this fight, directly to people incarcerated for cannabis. And, those things, like I said, they're important, and they're the right thing to do.
Right. I hear that you have a brand coming in California, and your daughter maybe has one coming on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Same so brand then?
It's actually going to be it's kind of same brand under the same umbrella, but different brands. Her thing. My daughter is very innovative. She grew up. I mean, she was cutting clones at like 4 years old. So I mean, she was
hands-on cultivation. Yeah.
She was definitely raised in the culture. But she. I think it's important for women to have leadership positions in this industry. not just be at the table, but have leadership positions. And I think that's important for the industry too. I think that's important for the direction that we go as an industry. So I'm supporting her in like her dream of what she wants to do over in Jersey City. And then, we're going to do our thing over in Cali, and, I'm sure there'll be some crossover and stuff like that. So,
right.
yeah.
Keeping that generational cannabis family going, man. Sharing
that's
love.
how we do it, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw you here with your daughter yesterday. It's definitely very poignant, man, to see you guys united and understand that now you're looking forward and that you've got so many plans in motion to stay busy and, keep fighting that fight.
Yeah, she's was my biggest inspiration, while I was incarcerated. She's my heart. And, just to not even, put it lightly, it's the best part of me being out. Everything is great. Food is great. The experiences and travel and all that stuff. But to be able to, like, reconnect with her and just, vibe with her and, and reconnect with the family, that has, like, been the best part of this whole thing.
Right. And I think that's the real reason why we're doing this fight too, for everyone else too, is giving them that respite, that home, that you long for, man. It's crazy what the industry has become out of the gray and black market that it was.
Yes, and, absolutely.
Yeah, man, I just want to thank you again for coming on the show today. And where can our listeners find out more about you and Mission Green, Glass House, and potential other brands coming out?
So go to projectmissiongreen.org, and you can, find ways to get involved. If you're a company, if you're just a consumer, if you're just somebody that wants to help out an injustice that's happening. You can follow me on any of my socials. It's just spelled Luke Scarmazzo, LukeScarmazzo. Glasshousebrands, .com. They're doing great work over there too. Excited to see where we can take that ship too.
Yeah, I saw you joining the roster at Glass House.
Yeah.
I think it was just announced yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Big drop yesterday.
Right.
I'm excited about it, man. Graham and Kyle over there, we came together, and they share the passion that I do for making a change in this situation, and also like just making a real change for the people that have been impacted by prohibition. And, having those resources behind us of a big company like that can definitely make an impact.
Yeah, they're well poised to act and to really, really move the needle on that. Yeah. I've seen their sea of greenhouses out there.
Man,
it's like an
huge.
Ocean of
It is huge. 5 million square feet. Like,
wow.
If you would have told me when I was growing, like, my single room,
that
back
5 million was possible.
Yeah, that 5 million square feet was possible, I would have said that you're crazy.
Yeah, the biggest I've walked in, I think, was about 1.2 million in Canada, and that felt like I was in an arena or something.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't see the far wall.
It's literally like, multiple football fields deep and like 20 football fields long, and that's like just one of the greenhouses. They have like 6 of those. I was just like sitting looking at those things going, holy shit.
Yeah, man. What has it become?
Yeah, so no, it's cool, man. Definitely California love over there that they've been showing, and I'm excited for the next chapters that we can kind of do with them.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you out and fighting the fight and spreading the awareness. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Rob.
Yep. Cheers. Thank you for listening to this live episode of the Apartment 113 podcast. For more information about the show and our range of services, visit apt113.com. We offer cannabis operations consulting, agile product management, and connoisseurship services. With over a decade of experience in the cannabis industry, Apartment 113 is here to help.